I work within a budget every day, just as you all do, and I pledge to you that as county clerk, I will oversee your tax dollars with the same care and conservatism that I do at my job and in my home. Finally, communication, and most importantly, Randy Taylor and his staff have run an efficient and effective office for almost 28 years, and Randy is really leaving some big shoes to fill. But there's not much that can be done to improve the operations of the office. But there is one thing we can add, and that's communication. Enough of you have read my articles in the Republic Monitor on sports and heard me on the radio in the fall announcing football games. I want to use those skills in the county clerk's office to serve you. At least once a month, I plan to have a report with local newspapers, online, and through radio interviews about what is happening in the county courthouse, where we are, what we are doing, and where we plan to go. But more importantly, through this communication, we can begin a dialogue about how your hard-earned tax dollars are being spent and how we can continue in Perry County to not just grow for the sake of growing, but thrive as we move forward. I really could go on for hours about my passion for public service, government, and politics, and those of you that know me know that is true. And don't even get me started on sports. But I just have one thing to close with. I've long asked God not to necessarily show me what life has in store for me, but instead to let me have my eyes open enough to realize what He wants me to do when I get there. And my eyes are open to serve in Perry County, and I hope you will support me as your next county clerk. Thank you for your time, and I would appreciate your vote on August 5th.
My next candidate for county clerk is Nina Home. Hey. Got it.
He is not. Thank you guys for coming, and for the Park Center and the ladies here hosting this for us. It is a little nerve-wracking to get up and speak in front of people, and if people know me, I do talk a lot. It's hard to get me to shut up, but that's okay. First of all, my name is Mina Hain, and as you heard, I'm running for county clerk. I have been married to Mark Hain for the past 31 years. Mark is the assistant supervisor of the Perry County Road and Bridge. He has been with Perry County for the past 20 years. I think we talked about a while ago. I have two daughters, Amy Hain, she's 27, and Taylor Hain, she's 15. For many years, I have worked with a variety of people in many different settings. If you look at my brochure, I have 3 current jobs. I'm a school bus driver, I work for the public school system, and I sell real estate. So if I drive by that big pretty thing coming towards town from Walmart, and golly, picture of me, that's me. I have gained experience in the public school system. I've been there for 17 years. My job there is record keeping and documentation. I'm the registrar at the high school. Also, my duties require me to have advanced computer skills and the ability to keep information confidential. As a realtor, which I have been for the past 8 years, I deal with legal contracts, budgets, loans, customer service, and bidding outside jobs, which I know that is part of the county clerk job description too. I feel that all my opportunities that I've done have greatly prepared me to assume the duties of our county clerk. I feel that I would be an outstanding addition to this county office because I am a hard worker. If anybody's worked with me, they know that. And I would dedicate my efforts to giving not just 100, but 110% to this job. I am organized, efficient, in completing my work with my 3 current jobs, and I feel confident that I can fulfill the duties of county clerk. I am a very upbeat and enthusiastic person, and I feel that I can get along well with others. I think that these qualities will help me to have a good working relationship with the current employees of the county clerk's office as well as the general public. As Jerry said, Randy Taylor's done an excellent job for the past 28 years, working hard to fill his shoes. But here's some of my goals for the county that I would like to work on, which, I do have a little advantage because my husband does work there, so I do know a little more. One thing is their payroll system that needs to be updated. It would save the taxpayer many dollars. The way they do their system is, for these guys to get their checks every 2 weeks. The checks are hand delivered, and as you know, these guys are out on road graders, and there's a lot of fuel, knowledge, and time spent trying to get that to them. That can be eliminated totally. Also, as Jerry said, I like to keep the public informed. I was more on the quarterly reports. And some of my bills, guys, was, there's always somebody wanting to know why a county road is not paved. And if we put that in the paper to show why, I think that's a little more understandable. The other thing is, I would like to get the teens involved, and that's because I do work over at school. I do feel like I have a little bit more pull, and that is to bring registration to them. Because as you know, as kids, they just don't go register to vote. If you bring it to them and explain to them the importance, then maybe they would understand. I realize that these goals will take a little time. I'm getting there, man. But I am, my 3 things for this is that I am loyal, guys. I'm dedicated, I'm determined, and I will devote myself 110% to this office. And thank you for coming, and I really appreciate your vote on August 5th. Thank you.
For county clerk is Kathy Loman Stump.
Good evening, everyone. As she said, my name is Kathy Stump, and I am running for Perry County Clerk. I was raised in Perry County by my parents, Dennis and Sandy Loman, and grew up with 1 younger brother, Daniel. I am married to Shannon Stump. We have 2 children, Jordan, our daughter, and Brendan, our son. My hopes for the future are that my children and someday grandchildren will make Perry County their home and live and raise their families here as my parents did and as I am, and that they are proud to be in a small, caring community. I am a graduate of Perryville High School. I played softball and volleyball, and I'm honored to say that my daughter will also be a Lady Pirate softball player this coming year. I am currently involved in coaching with the Perryville Stars organization for a 14U softball team that my daughter is a part of. My past and current involvement in organizations and committees include Missouri Association of Realtors, American Legion Auxiliary, a member of Emmanuel Lutheran Church, Vice President of Emmanuel Lutheran School PTL, a Relay for Life volunteer, Rec League softball coach at Perry Park Center, registered volunteer for the Perryville Youth Bowling League, and also the treasurer of that league, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Missouri Preschool Project Advisory member, and also a member of PHS Alumni Association. I made this decision to run for office when I learned Randy Taylor was retiring after this year. The words of encouragement and support from my family and my friends made me realize that I had made the right choice. Randy leaves behind big shoes for the next person to fill, but I am confident I can do the job and serve the people with the same level of service he provided for Perry County for nearly 30 years. I have been doing office work for the past 14 years, including accounts payable, accounts receivable, bookkeeping, filing, working on the computer, and also customer service. I believe the daily and/or weekly operations of the clerk would be similar to these duties, and I would also have a good working relationship with the commissioners. I believe I work well with others and would be able to collaborate with other clerks from neighboring communities as well. The clerk's office is the business office of the county. Many have called it the backbone of the county. If you liked it, my goal would be to continue to be that backbone. I would not come into office to try to change a lot of things, but just ensure that the plans already in place run efficiently as possible. This is not to say I'm afraid to address any issues that might arise. If improvements need to be made or updates to technology are in order, then I will make sure problems the county faces are taken care of and needed as swiftly as possible. I am a firm believer in the open door policy and will listen to the concerns of the community. I am interested in what the citizens of Perry County have to say, and I feel it is the job of an elected official to listen to those who have elected him or her. It is a job of service, and I won't take the responsibility lightly. In regards to the county's money or budget, I would not make any frivolous decisions on spending money where it isn't needed, but focus on the areas or offices in our county that might need additional staffing, improvements, or upgrades to their facility, or any additional financial support. This would include all the different offices and organizations in the county. I would research a way to get the county more grant money, and also try to get more tax revenue here in town. I would be willing to work closely with the treasurer to ensure all the county's money is balanced and accounted for. I can assure you, the community, that I will work to the best of my ability, and I am willing to learn any and all aspects of this job. I am an honest and dependable person. You can rely on me to work for you, the citizens of Perry County, in making things better for our future. I am dedicated to my work, and that is something I will bring with me to this office. A strong work ethic and a willingness to make choices that will benefit not just some people in the community, but the entire community. If you liked it, my hope is to make the transition from Randy leaving as easy as possible for everyone involved, and I hope to have the support of the deputy clerks in making this happen. One last thing before closing. I believe the hardest job I've ever had and still have is being a mom. Unlike this county clerk position, which I'm sure comes with a set of manuals and rules, being a mother of 2 teenagers has no manual. So if I can raise my children, of course with the help of my husband and my family, to be respectful and polite, and have God in their lives and in their hearts, I can assure you I can tackle the daily responsibilities of the county clerk. I would appreciate your vote and support on August 5th. Thank you all for coming. Take care. Bye.
County clerk is Stephen King.
Good evening. As she said, I'm Stephen King, candidate for county clerk. I've been married to my wife, Julie, for 30 plus years. We have 2 outstanding daughters, Natalie, who will be attending Perryville University, majoring in communications, and Emily, who will be majoring in communications, and she'll also be swimming on the Division II swim team at Perryville. Emily is a junior at St. Vincent High School. Natalie and Emily are both competitive swimmers. I earned a bachelor's degree of science in agriculture from Southeast Missouri State University, a master's in education from the University of Missouri-Columbia, and an additional 24 hours of graduate credit and a lifetime educator certification. Julie and I were owners of Steve and Joy's Greenhouse for 15 years. As the girls became more aggressive in their swimming competition, I had to miss more and more swim meets. This is not me. I wanted to be with them. We decided to close the business and dedicate more time to the training and their competition. I recently completed 30 years of education in the public school system. 13 years were at Charleston, Missouri in agriculture education with FFA advisors and young farmer advisors, and 17 years here in Perry County. Of those 17 years, 12 were spent as the ag teacher, young farmer, and FFA advisor, and the last 5 as the director of the Career and Technology Center. During my tenure in education, I have dealt each year with the development and implementation of a budget for the ag department, the FFA, and young farmers. These budgets were tied to state and federal dollars, and which have many stipulations on how they can be used. I have written and implemented numerous competitive grants over the 30 years, aiding in equipment, technology, and facility upgrades. As the director of the Career Center, my duties included the development of the budget for 12 other career education programs. I have served as a member of Farm Bureau in Mississippi County, on the board, on the Parish Council in St. Henry's in Charleston, and was on the Board of Education here at St. Vincent's. I've been a member of the Missouri Farm Bureau for 30 years, a member of St. Vincent de Paul Church. I hold the honorary FFA state degree and the State Young Farmer Young Farmers Leadership Award. I volunteer coach as the Perryville Bronze Summer Swim Team. I'm a USA Certified Swim Coach and an AAU Certified Swimming Judge. In education, one of my personal goals was to teach our young people the value of community service. FFA members are guided in writing competitive grants, allowing them to improve areas in the public. As the director of the Career Center, I encourage the student organizations to be involved in community service. Over the 5 years, the Skills USA and FFA chapters accomplished things such as building the Dare barbecue grill trailer, and also building and constructing tables for an organization that helps disabled veterans. I decided to put my name in the hat for county clerk after a group of ladies heard that I was retiring and suggested to Julie that I should look into it. My wife called me while I was sitting in the hospital with mom with one of her chemo treatments and told me what the ladies had suggested. That day I visited with mom, did some research on the internet, and decided that it would be a good way for me to continue serving the community. After my research and visit with Mr. Taylor, I realized many of the responsibilities of the clerk's office were very similar to what I've done for 30 years in education: developing and maintaining budgets, setting agendas, keeping both meetings and financial records are a major part of both jobs. The newest challenge would be operating the election process. Dealing with the state is always an interesting challenge. My experience with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education will aid me with that part of the job. I feel that my 30 years in education and experience as a business owner gives me the experience and the knowledge needed to be successful. It is my sincere goal that I will be able to continue serving others as the next Perry County clerk. I would like to thank the Republican Monitor and Ms. Bach for this forum, and Julie, Natalie, and Emily for putting up with me and giving me support and courage. And oh, by the way, the signs have the windmill on it because they were designed by my daughter to show the agricultural background. Thank you.
It seems to me all these offices really need to have people that are organized because they're all very important. And I think we're very fortunate to have so many people that are willing to run for the office and put themselves out there. Our next office is Recorder of Deeds. The Recorder of Deeds is a government office tasked with maintaining public records and documents, especially records relating to real estate ownership.
I have questions for the clerks.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
I think this microphone.
Am I fired?
You are not fired. You are not fired. Can you guys hear me? Sure. It's good to have a big mouth. All right. My first question is, do any of you have any political aspirations for seeking an office higher than the one that you are currently seeking? Please use the microphone, Jerry, pass it down.
Well, no, not at this time. I mean, I have a son who's 2 years old, and I am bound and determined, and without exception, will be in Perry County to ensure that he's raised here. That's just the way it is. Now, beyond that, I can't tell you, but that's 15, 20 years down the road.
As far as the county clerk, I'd have to see where I go from there. Some people said, Mina, you may become president. I doubt that, but that's okay. I'm a real go-getter, but not quite that far. So, as far as county clerk, it is a challenge, guys. It takes a lot of courage for all of us to get up here. We, really do, want to go and serve the public. It's not just for the money, it's for the dedication to the community.
No, I do not. I would like to stay here in this community. Like I said, I was raised here. I want to raise my family here, and I want to work for this community.
One of the things I learned early on in life and in education is you never say, no, I won't do something. But at this time, no, I have no ambition to move on and do anything else. Perry County has been my life, and this is where I want to stay, and it's where I want to work to improve.
My next question, if money were not an issue, what is one service that you would like to see Perry County provide for the citizens that we don't currently provide?
Sure. Man, that's a very good question. And being in education all these years, I think the one thing that we need to do with our youth is make sure we get them more involved in the communities. All right, whether it be in election processes or whether it be playing a part in improving the park or doing work. So we've got to figure out a way to get our youth involved in every aspect of what we do.
Do you want me to repeat it? If money weren't an issue, what is a service that you would like to see Perry County provide for its citizens that it currently does not provide? What is something that the county needs to give people that it's currently not giving them?
Okay, I'm really not for sure because that's something I think I would have to research and find out. But definitely if there is a service that is needed, we would definitely look into it and see if it's feasible to do.
I would have to say I'd go back on my team, trying to get the teens to realize how important it is. I mean, if you don't vote, you don't have no voice. So, I think that's very important. I talk to kids a lot about it, and they said I don't even know they can register. So, to me that's important because that's our future. Is what's coming up. So.
I kind of feel like I'm a kid, running for student council right now because if money weren't an issue, I'd provide ice cream for everybody every day. But in the realities of the world, I think one of the things that the county can really use is access to more options for transportation. I mean, sure, we can drive a lot of places. We're within 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours of two major cities. But, providing more commercial services out of the airport, things like that. And of course, always want to involve the kids. But, no, I think it would have to do with transportation issues on giving us access to faster speed transportation, if money were not an issue.
Okay. What county entities do you feel are currently underfunded? Do you feel that there's a department that could use a little extra money from their way that they're currently not receiving?
Well, the two most important things, in my opinion, of county government, what they're supposed to serve us, is safe roads and safe communities. And I don't think those things can ever be taken for granted. And we hear all the time where the county might be proposing a tax of this nature or that nature for our county roads and for our sheriff's department. Here in town, we are taken care of by a lot of city services, but folks out in the county, have a very close eye on how those things are working for them. And I think from Allenburg, Wittenberg, and Young, folks would say that they could, the county road and bridge and the sheriff's department could use more money.
I would have to agree with Jared. I would be the same as far as the sheriff and the county road department. And like I said, I know that because my husband's been there for 20 years. They went with all these blacktop roads, and they do need better equipment to maintain them. They were not equipped, I think, enough to get out there and clean them roads off the way, blacktop should be cleared off. You got state, they got equipment, they got supplies to get that off these roads. The county does not. That needs to be addressed, I think, for sure. And then, as Jared said too, the sheriff's department, I'd have to look into that. I know there were some taxes that was trying to get passed for that. So, that would be something to maybe relook at.
I would have to say the one department, and I know this because of going door to door, that was brought up to me, would be the public administrator's office. They just told me some issues that they were having, and I think the county needs to look into that maybe for additional staffing.
If you look into the history of the county, all the offices have fewer people working for them. They're having to do more and more jobs. And I think one of the key to any county success is infrastructure. You've got to have the roads, you've got to have the communications to build and grow industry and to keep the industry here and to keep people happy. Jobs bring us income, bring us more tax money. So in my opinion, anything that deals with infrastructure has to be a vital key.
My last question is, where do you think too much county money is being spent? where you see a department or a place where tax dollars are being spent where the purse strings could be tightened a little bit?
Good question. To be honest with you, I don't know if I've delved deep enough into the budget to give an honest answer. But I will tell you that the key to any good government or key to any good business is doing as much as you can for as little as you can. And I think this county has done a decent job of that so far. And it would be the county clerk's job to make sure that we stretch our dollars as far as we can. There's grant opportunities out there, and I think that's the key. When four of us get elected, I hope they look into the situations for grants, for the roads, for the bridges, for the infrastructure, and just work to stretch what dollars we do have and use them as efficiently, as effectively as we can.
I agree with Steve on that. Like I said before, it's something we have to research. I really don't know that, but it would be something that would be looked into, and if we can disperse it to other areas, then maybe we should do that.
That's a hard one, guys, because, I know everybody's talking about grants and that, but then when you watch the news, we're broke. We're spending billions of dollars, and we just don't have the money there. I know there is probably grants for this, to, like these guys said, to improve in areas. But as far as too much money spent, I have looked at the budget. I don't really see it, so I cannot say that they are spending too much. As long as you got a safety cap in there just for emergencies, that's the main thing.
Well, one of the things that I plan to do once elected is that the budget will be due the last week of January, and after that I want to sit down with each and every member of the county, as far as county offices, the sheriff, the recorder of deeds, the treasurer, so on and so forth, and determine and look and go through their office budgets with a fine-tooth comb to see where we can save money. I think at this point there's no way I can answer that question, because I don't know without having those meetings, because one, to each individual person in those offices, their budget is the most important to them, and there is no waste. But I think it's up to other people to look and see and to make those determinations. But yeah, at this time I cannot answer that with uncertainty.
Thank you.
Okay, our next office is the Recorder of Deeds. The Recorder of Deeds is a government office tasked with maintaining public records, documents, especially records related to real estate ownership. It's a 4-year term, just like the county clerks are 4-year terms, and the annual salary is $49,763. And I would ask all the candidates to please try and stick to the 4 minutes, because we have a lot to get through tonight, and when we're all finished, then y'all can answer, or y'all can ask questions. So, first one from Recorder of Deeds is Dana Pritchard.
Thank you, Mary. Good evening, and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Dana Ballman Pritchard. I am the daughter of Donna Ernst Ballman and the late Ted Ballman Jr., as well as the sister to Tom Ballman. My husband's name is Mark Pritchard, and we have 2 fantastic children, Samantha and Hunter, both who will be attending St. Vincent Junior Senior High School this coming fall. I have lived in Perryville almost all of my life, graduated from St. Vincent de Paul High School in 1987. We are parishioners at the St. Vincent de Paul Parish. I am proud to call this community my home. I love the town, its people, and especially enjoy donating my time to the growth and prosperity of Perry County by serving its people. In the last 11 years, I have served as your deputy recorder alongside our current recorder of deeds, Sue Oster. Together, we have recorded and indexed the land transactions for Perry County and made them available to title searchers, independent researchers, and to the public. Also, we issue and record Missouri marriage licenses purchased in Perry County. We have kept and preserved these documents dating back to the early 1800s. While working with Sue, we have experienced many changes in the recorder's office as technology has expanded our capabilities. The growth of technology and working with the latest updates have given me the most current and knowledgeable on-the-job experience. In addition to my experience as deputy recorder, I will be traveling to Columbia, Missouri this coming week to attend a Reporters Association of Missouri training that is required because of immediate changes in the Missouri laws. It is my past experience and current trainings that would ensure a smooth transition from our retiring reporter to myself. My goal, if elected, is to continue the policies and procedures Sue has already established that has made her office so efficient. The only changes I plan on making would come with growth in technology and hopefully growth in finances as they might allow. She has given me some suggestions as possible changes that could make made if the finances are available. I have been educated on how to handle the situation if it arises and how those changes need to be made. I would be honored to continue serving the citizens of Perry County from this office that has become a substantial part of my life for the past 11 years. One of my favorite parts of this job is coming to work at the courthouse, interacting with remarkable people, and showing first-time visitors the vault, housing our handwritten deeds dating back to 1825. I hope and humbly ask that you will support me in the polls during the August 5th primary election. And finally, I would like to thank our current office holders, especially those who will be retiring after this term, for serving our community and county so faithfully. I wish them health and happiness in their retirement, especially to my boss, Sue Oster, for being a great mentor and a great friend. Also, I would like to wish all these candidates well during this election. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Kimberly Wingeter.
Good evening. Welcome to the candidate forum. As she said, my name is Kim Wingeter, and I'm a candidate for Recorder of Deeds. I have been a resident of Perry County for most of my life, and I am married to Kurt Wingeter. I have 3 children, 3 grown children, Sean, Cody, and Brittany Stoller, and I have 1 grandchild, Colton, who's 3 years old. I have loved raising my family in this wonderful town. I'm excited to be involved in all the positive changes that I've seen so far, because I think it's time for some changes in Perry County, and I believe that I am your best candidate for the position. I have over 25 years experience, customer service, and working with the public, combined with 10 years management experience, so I do know how to run an office and what it takes to run it efficiently. I'm honest, friendly, and hardworking, and I'm very active in our community. And I've been involved in several nonprofit fundraising projects, benefits, including back in June when we escorted the Wall That Heals, the Veterans Parade, just to name a few. I have a strong commitment to this community, and that is what drives me both as a candidate and a resident to bring the positive changes to Perry County. I'm a member of the Ladies VFW Auxiliary, I'm a Patriot Guard Rider, and I'm a member of the NRA. I'm also a proud supporter of the Wounded Warrior Project. Being the mother of a United States Marine, I have seen firsthand what our military goes through both physically and mentally when they return home from deployment. So I think it's a wonderful organization. I've been interested in holding a public office for quite some time, and several years ago, when I was working in advertising, a wise man told me, "There's no time like the present, kid, and I think you'd be good at it." That wise man was Bob Mijay. So with my family and friends' support and encouragement, here I am. I'm a person committed to excellence in anything that I do. I have the dedication, the commitment to make the Recorders of Deeds office a place with an inviting, friendly, and knowledgeable atmosphere. It will always be focused on serving the people of Perry County. So I encourage you to make the change, and please support me. I would appreciate your vote on August 5th. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Our next candidate for Recorder of Deeds is Samantha Shrimp.
Schrimp, and I'm here tonight to humbly ask for your vote for the Recorder of Deeds in the August 5th Republican primary election. As you know, the winner of this election will be your Recorder of Deeds. I want to thank the Perry County Republic Monitor for hosting tonight's candidate forum, along with Mary Bach, and giving me the opportunity to engage each and every one of you. As I stated, I am Samantha Schrimp. I was born and raised in Perry County. I am the daughter of Jerry Beeler and the late Virginia Beeler. I am married to Rodney Schrimp, and we will be celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary this year. We have raised 6 children, and as a result, we are blessed with 9 grandchildren. So why do I want to be your Recorder of Deeds? First, I think it matters who holds this office, or any office, serving the residents of Perry County. Throughout my professional life, I have learned many lessons that give me the valuable experience to serve you. For 20 years, my husband and I have successfully owned and operated Schrimp Electric. I will be the first to tell you, as some of you might know, when you work day after day with your spouse, you figure out there is not much you can't do. Love you, honey. To be serious, I am grateful to my husband and my business partner, because together we have learned so much, including how to take care of our customers. In addition, even as a dental assistant in my early days, or the contract manager at the License Bureau, or as a real estate agent, I have seen people at their best and I've seen them at their worst. I've always been committed to making a difference and have always taken serious my role in that moment. It is this experience and many others that I will take to the courthouse. Not only will I give the people of Perry County a friendly customer service experience in the Recorder of Deeds office, but will give you the level of professionalism you will be proud of. In my experience as a real estate agent, I have learned how important it is to be a good custodian of those documents and to preserve them in their entirety for future generations. In closing, in the race for Recorder of Deeds, as in many of the primary races this election, there are many choices. On August 5th, every vote will matter. I am so blessed to have had this opportunity and grateful for so much support. This election has afforded me the chance to meet so many nice people on a one-to-one basis. While I have never held a public office, I know what it takes to serve the public. On August 5th, I hope that you give me your utmost consideration. I would be grateful for your vote. Thank you.
Our next candidate for our Recorder of Deeds is Douglas Martin.
Hello everyone, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. I'd like to thank the Republic Monitor for putting this on, and Mary. I'd also like to thank everyone up here for running and sticking your neck out and being a part of the community. I have nothing prepared, so I'm going to wing it, and it's a good thing it's being recorded by PVTV, so there may be a faux pas. My name is Doug Martin. I am currently an alderman in Ward 2 here in Perryville. I am a licensed real estate agent and I'm an independent business owner. I am married to Lisa Martin and I have 5 beautiful daughters. My wife can't be here tonight. She's coaching basketball in Cape, so I hope to join her at 9 o'clock for our second game. I am going to read something that was mailed to me, and I always hate when our president does this, but I'm going to do it. Dated June 27, 2014, Dear Doug, I just wanted to send you a quick note to say how happy I was when I learned you were running for county recorder. Our family really enjoyed having you as Brett's T-ball coach. You were a great coach and showed several admirable qualities that will make you a great county recorder. We wish you the best with the election. Our family will be cheering you on. Sincerely, Jennifer Baker. Well, I guess I got at least 2 votes from that. So, what does being a T-ball coach have to do with being Recorder of Deeds, you ask? Well, I feel like I'm ingrained in this community in nearly, every aspect of what goes on, and the same will be with the Recorder of Deeds office. People who come in there will be greeted with a warm smile. Their business will be conducted in a professional manner. employed for 35 years and have managed to raise 5 daughters. And I'm not going to bore you with my resume. It's all on the paper out there, so I don't want to be repetitive. But I thank you all for coming, and I ask you for your vote on August 5th, and hopefully I've saved a couple minutes of your time. Thank you.
Our next office tonight is County Treasurer. I need to go home.
The irony that I picked this wireless microphone to work prior to my asking this question is not lost on me. How do you see technology changing in the coming years and changing the way that things are done in the recorder's office? And how do you plan on staying abreast of those technological changes?
Please say it again. That was a lot.
As technology advances, how do you see it playing a role in the recorder's office?
It currently is. We deal with a software company currently that we communicate with frequently. And we also have a wonderful IT person now working with the county that kind of helps interpret that language. So hopefully we will be able to continue that relationship with both. And from what I am aware of currently, the Recorders Association does have theories in process that they are trying to implement with us. That they are trying to, keep everybody, no matter what size the county is, they're trying to keep them up to date and help them out in any way.
Probably a lot of research. I've already researched different recorder of deeds offices in the surrounding counties and in Missouri, and I've already seen where they might be a little bit more advanced than what we are. I know our current recorder of deeds office, this is just one item, does not currently take debit card or credit card. It's cash or check only. That's probably a technology that needs to be updated. But like I said, I've got a lot of notes wrote down, and I've already researched different counties for the difference from their office to ours.
I would agree with Kim on that one. You do need to use debit cards because that is an advanced technology right now. I would say just keeping up with your computer systems, making sure you are taking continuing educations to educate yourself on how you can make things better. That's about all I've got to say.
I did hear Dana, and Kim's point is very valid. I did read what Sue Oster had in the paper several months ago, and she talked about the e-recording and how they've really changed things in the last couple of years. And you can only do what you have the budget for. Obviously, we'll stay on the forefront of technology, but the money has to come from somewhere, like they were talking earlier. There's a budget that we won't be in control of, and whatever we get, we have to work with. So I do know that there is an element of fraud that is running through in the state of Missouri and probably nationwide in the recorder of deeds system, where people are trying to fraudulently obtain records so they can go get a loan on property that they don't own. So, we would be steadfast in that because the criminals are out there every day, trying to find out new ways to scam. So we would be on the forefront of that.
My next question, I think this is working now. Given the recent acts of violence that have occurred in other municipalities against employees of local government, do you feel that the county should find money in its budget to upgrade security at our courthouse?
Well, I have the microphone. Yes. So, of course, I am an alderman here in Perryville, and our council chambers, no one can come in without coming through the metal detector. that's where we're at as a society. So I think it's vitally important because there's been a lot of courthouse shootings and incidents. Seems like more and more every day. But once again, it comes to the budget and the money, and I think it would be vital to work on that.
I definitely think it would be vital to work on that because unfortunately it is occurring. But there again, the money's got to be there to do it. But if the money is there and it's budgeted, I would think it would be a great idea to make it more secure.
Actually, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that it's not in place right now. I think metal detectors, not only, I mean, I'm not so sure that anyone's going to get really ticked off with the recorder of deeds for something, but more for our judges, our lawyers, whether it's in the budget or not, they need to make it be in the budget. Either that or let us use our concealed carry. I don't think they're going to let us do that. I mean, I'm a big supporter of that, but of course, that's not going to be allowed in the courthouse. But yes, I think they need to find one.
Currently, the Recorder of Deeds is one of 2 county offices in our county courthouse. The rest of them are all from the state. And yes, we are up there with the courts going on, and I'm sure our attorneys that are up here can attest to that. But the Recorder's office that I'm aware of is not under control of any of the security measures that much. I mean, we are consulted when they are brought in, but we do not we can make suggestions, but I don't think that we're allowed to enforce those policies.
Thank you.
Old people do get tired when the sun goes down. Okay, our next group of candidates is for county treasurer. This is a 4-year term, and the annual rate of pay is $49,763. The county treasurer directs financial planning, collection, distribution, procurement, and investment of funds for Perry County by performing the following duties. Records and delegates authority for receipt, disbursement, banking, protection, and custody of funds, securities, and financial instruments, maximizes interest earnings on investments, directs the billing, collection, investment, and distribution of various taxes collected by the county, directs the day-to-day operation of the treasurer's office, advises other county departments on interest earning investments, represents the county when securing investment bonds from financial investors, analyzes projects, and recommends the county's cash management system based upon projected income, analyzes financial records to forecast future financial position and budget requirements, evaluates the need for procurement of funds and investment of surplus, advises county commission on investments and loans for short and long-range financial plans, prepares monthly cash flow and other financial reports for management and the county commission, develops policies and procedures for account collections and extension of credit to customers, signs notes of indebtedness as approved by the county commission, and prepares an annual budget for the department. Our first candidate for that office is Kathy Schumer.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, and thank you for coming. A special thanks to the Republic Monitor and the Perry Park Center for hosting this forum. My name is Kathy Wibbenmeyer Schumer, a conservative Republican with a strong accounting and financial background, along with a deep commitment to serving Perry County. I firmly believe I'm the best candidate to be your next Perry County Treasurer. Many of you may know my husband, David, of 29 years, who is a land surveyor for Barry Engineering. We just spent our 29th anniversary on Sunday out on the campaign trail, so I may have met some of you that day. We have 3 beautiful children, Kristen, married to Brad Renner, Lauren and Tim, and 3 adorable grandchildren, Bryn, Mila, and Levi. I was born and raised in Perry County in the small town of Apple Creek, which I'm very proud to call my home. My parents, Doc and Dorothy Rubenmeyer, still live there. I have 4 brothers, Wayne, Gary, Rick, and Terry. I attended both PHS and St. Vincent's High School. Upon graduation, I chose to enter the workforce and have been blessed with full-time employment ever since. My first job was at the Association of the Miraculous Medal. From there, I moved to St. Louis, where I gained 11 years of valuable work experience at Xerox Corporation. In 1990, David and I decided to move home to be closer to our families, so our children could experience the same conservative values and Christian upbringing we received living in this close-knit community. Over the years, I have been actively involved in our community through church and school. I served for 4 years as the treasurer of St. Vincent's Alumni Association. I'm a member of the St. Vincent de Paul Parish, a Eucharistic Adoration Adore, and the Ladies Sodality. I also belong to the American Legion Auxiliary and the Perryville Country Club. For the last 24 years, I've worked at Keller Motors. As the office manager, my professional duties there align perfectly with the demands of the treasurer's office. Each day, I am responsible for the accounting and treasury activities, including maintaining an effective cash management system, making important financial decisions to ensure our line of credit is properly maintained. I also am an expert at preparing accurate financial statements and executing month-end closings. I enjoy working with diverse teams and meeting and greeting the public. During my professional career, I have continued my education in the accounting field through online courses and by attending ongoing trainings and seminars. You can count on me to be trustworthy, hardworking, and professional in handling the treasurer's responsibilities. Over the last 35 years, I have worked for 2 companies, one a large corporation, and the second one a locally owned family business. I have continuously demonstrated my honest, dedicated, and loyal service to both of them. In summary, my experience, education, and personal attributes make me an excellent choice, the right choice, and I look forward to serving you as the Perry County Treasurer. I humbly ask for your support in your vote on August 5th. Thank you, and God bless.
Our next candidate is Brian Brickhouse. He is not with us tonight, but has sent something that he would like to have read. So I will read that. He says, I first off want to apologize for not making the forum tonight. I started this campaign over 4 years ago when I decided to run for Perry County Treasurer, and did so with 4 young children, my very understanding wife, Amy, of 13 years. Now Alex is 12, Luke is 11, Garrett is 8, and Adam is 5. In deciding to run, I was determined that I would not let the campaign interfere with any of their ball games. My oldest son, Alex, was selected on the Perryville All-Stars team for 11 to 12-year-olds and has a tournament this week near Festus, and obviously is playing this evening. In the few minutes of this letter, I would like to tell you why I am running, what my qualifications are, and why I am the best candidate. Why am I running? I have spent the last 20 years of my life being a servant to and for the people that I love, appreciate, and pledge to serve. Those I love, my fellow Christians. I have served on the Parish Council and Finance Committee at St. Vincent de Paul Parish. I am a Eucharistic minister, and I have been an adorer at Eucharistic Adoration since it began in 2005. My wife and I were also youth ministers at St. Vincent for 3 years. Those I appreciate, my fellow veterans. I have been the MC for Veterans Day and Memorial Day at the courthouse for the past 13 years. I have been on the executive board of the American Legion for the past 10 years, and most currently held the position of commander for the past 2 years. Those I pledge to serve, you the people. I joined the Army out of high school, serving 8 years between the United States Army and the Missouri National Guard. I learned the active service through my grandfather, Charles Besson. He was the county treasurer from 1966 to 1990. A past commander of the Legion, served 50-plus years on the executive board, and was a World War II vet. He taught me how to serve, and I would be honored to follow in his footsteps. What are my qualifications? I have received a bachelor's degree from Southeast Missouri State University in finance. I have been a stockbroker for over 13 years, managing individual and retirement assets for businesses and individuals. I currently serve on and have served for 2 local boards to help manage and protect their budgets. These budgets range from $1 to $3 million. As commander of the American Legion, I have full responsibility for their budget over the last 2 years. Why I am the best candidate? I have a broad range of licenses that allows me to understand the county budget and to assist the commissioners. I currently hold a real estate license. Property taxes have a huge impact on our revenue stream for the budget. I hold a health and life insurance license. This is important to understand the benefits for county employees and to have the knowledge to assist the commissioners in negotiating and discerning insurance benefits. But most importantly, to the treasurer's position, I have a securities license to understand the laddering of CDs and the insurance and the issuance of refinancing of municipal bonds. I am the only candidate with a 4-year degree. I am the only candidate that has successfully and professionally managed public or private assets. On or before August 5th, I want you to put yourselves in the position that you should every election. Imagine you are the boss hiring for the position of Perry County Treasurer. It's your tax dollars, it's your county. Are you going to hire the best candidate with the best resume, or are you going to pick the most popular candidate? In closing, I served you, the people from September 1995 to January 2003 as a soldier in the United States Army and the Missouri National Guard. I would be honored to serve you again as your new county treasurer. Thank you.
He might have read it faster.
What can I say?
Thank you.
Our next candidate is here, and is Lisa Lookifer.
Good evening. I am Lisa Lookifer, and I am running for County Treasurer. I have lived in Perryville my entire life, and I have been taught good values. I am hardworking, honest, and responsible, eager to take on new challenges and responsibilities. My husband, Delvin, and I have been married for 22 years, and we have 2 children, Hannah and Zachary. I have over 20 years of accounting experience. I have experience in accounts payable, receivable, monthly statements, payroll, quarterly and annual reports. I have excellent customer service skills. Delvin and I have been managing our farm operation for over 20 years. I have records on all of our cattle with the vaccinations, the calving, and the shipping records, along with our yearly taxes preparations for our farm. So you ask, why am I, Lisa Lookifer, running for Perry County Treasurer? I want to become more involved in my community. Perryville is a growing town, and I want to be part of it. And if you elect me, I will strive to do my very best. So I am asking you for your support on August 5th to please come out and vote for me, Lisa Lookifer, for Perry County Treasurer. I promise to work very hard for our community. Thank you.
Our next candidate for County Treasurer is Jackie Wingert.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks to the newspaper and the Perry Park Center. And thank you to everybody here for coming out in support of myself and all the candidates behind me. Again, my name is Jackie Wingert, and I'm a candidate for Perry County Treasurer. I'm a lifetime resident of Perry County, and I'm married to Steve Wingert, who is a grain and livestock farmer in northern Perry County. I have 3 children, Kurt and Becca PQ, Dawn and Chad Ozark, Lisa Marie and Daniel Joyce. And I have also been blessed with 5 grandchildren. I belong to Christ the Savior Parish in Brewer, where I serve as a Eucharistic minister, a lector, parish council member, and the president of the Ladies' Sodality. I also serve in the parish council for the St. Vincent de Paul Parish. I enjoy being a member of the Perryville Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as a lifetime member of the Perry County Historical Society and the PHS alumni. Before I filed for this position, I contacted our current treasurer, knowing what a fabulous job she has done for almost 30 years. I wanted to check with her to make sure I had the qualifications that are needed to perform this important job. This position demands someone qualified and skilled to provide Perry County with the best possible service, and I wanted to be sure that I could be that someone. My 18 years experience in the banking field include new accounts, loan preparation and documentation, and of course exceptional customer service. I have 11 years experience in payroll with up to 90 checks and direct deposits each week, accounts payable and accounts receivable. You may remember me as the Executive Director of the Perryville Area Chamber of Commerce and the Secretary to the Perryville Development Corporation. I was privileged to serve in this position for over 5 years. The chamber position included recording, tracking, and distribution of funds and meeting deadlines daily. I was in charge of contacting financial institutions to find the best investments for the reserve funds for the chamber. I worked with many business owners and community leaders. Throughout my career, I have been required to be dependable and efficient as others who depended on me. Positions I have held have sharpened my skills in communication, multitasking, and working together as a team. These are important assets today, as many of our offices are changing hands, and we will all need to work together to provide Perry County with the best possible service. I have the needed experience in recording, tracking, report formation, and distribution of funds. Meeting deadlines is a necessity that I still do every day. I have been fortunate to serve for many not-for-profit organizations, both as a member and a board member, including secretary, treasurer, and presidents. I have worked with the Perry County Community Task Force, CHAMPS, Teen Council, and the Missouri Community Betterment Committee. I've been a member of the Rotary Club, served on the Perry County Mental Health Board, and the University of Extension, Missouri. The treasurer's position is a 40-hour-a-week job, and more when necessary. I am dedicated and, most importantly, prepared for this position. My promise to you is that I will work hard as your treasurer, and I will serve this community with integrity, honesty, and, as always, impeccable customer service. My combined experience in banking, payroll, accounts payable and receivables, budgeting, organization, and reporting qualifies me to be your Perry County Treasurer. I want to thank you all this evening for giving me a few minutes of your time, and I would appreciate your vote on August 5th. Thank you.
Our next candidate for our county treasurer is Diane Guile.
Good evening. Good evening, and thank you for coming tonight Good evening, and thank you for coming tonight to tonight's candidate forum. I would like to take a moment to say thank you to all those who have made this evening possible. It is certainly an honor and a pleasure to be here speaking to all of you tonight. My name is Diane Guile, and I am a Republican candidate running for the Perry County Treasurer position. My husband Joe and I have deep ties to Perry County all the way back to our great-great-grandparents, making Perry County their home, and I am proud of my Perry County heritage. I was born in Perryville and raised up in De Leon Farm, and I'm no stranger to the ethics of hard work. My parents were Sylvester and the late Lynette Geringer, and have taught me the value of being kind and respectful to people, but most of all, being honest. Although my dear mother has passed away and I still very much miss her, my father has just turned 84 this past Sunday and he still tries to farm. I am very proud of that because I feel that his quality of strength and determination to keep going has brought me here tonight. My father-in-law was the late Howard Guile and Mary Ann Guile, and she was the former circuit clerk. I graduated from PHS in 1983 and was married in 1989 to Joseph Guile and now reside in Silver Lake. Joe and I have been married for 25 years in May. Joe is my deputy treasurer for my committee, and I feel very fortunate to have him by my side. We were blessed with one son, Tristan Guile, who has graduated in May this year from St. Vincent's School and just received his Eagle Scout rank and will be starting college in August at Glen State. My husband and I own our own business, Joe Guile Excavating, and I do the bookkeeping for it. Why do I want the job as treasurer? I simply miss working for the people of this community in a professional atmosphere. I love accounting, I am open-minded and a team player, and I want to see our community continue to grow and prosper, and I would like to be a part of that as your next county treasurer. If elected, I promise I will work hard for all Perry Countyans while safeguarding the tax revenue, and to work as hard as the current treasurer and continue the quality of service that the people of Perry County expect and deserve. My qualifications for Perry County Treasurer are: I have worked in the public eye for many years, dating back to 1985. I have over 3 years experience working at First Federal Savings and Loan as a teller and new accounts assistant. I was then offered a job in a position at the Perry County Courthouse as a deputy circuit clerk and went on to working at the courthouse for 15 years, handling mostly child support payments. My job was to collect child support payments and or arrears, enter them into the computer, and disperse them to the appropriate parties or the state, much like being a treasurer for numerous accounts. I feel the fact that I have worked with child support accounts for 15 years and had first state rate audits during that time, it would especially make me a good candidate for the position as a county treasurer, and I also handled many other office duties in a professional manner. Most of you are probably wondering why I left the courthouse. I really enjoyed working as a deputy circuit clerk, but my position was taken away due to Governor Hogan eliminating one position to our courts and surrounding counties as well. And at that time, all child support and arrear payments were being centralized in Jefferson City. This meant all child support checks were being dispersed from them instead of the circuit court, which eliminated a large part of my position. I was then offered a job at a TUI law firm and worked there for 2 years in Community Counseling Center, and now positioned at Perryville Easy Pump and work as a supervisor and marketing director. I am trustworthy, thorough, accurate, and I have a lot of experience to bring to the treasurer's position. I feel like I am dedicated to my job and the people that I serve every day because I feel an obligation to take care of them as I would myself. I love working for and respect the people of the community and find we are very blessed to have such a giving and caring community. I see it every day in my job and the jobs I had in my past. I still have many people that approach me and ask me if I still work at the courthouse because they remember me helping them. That is a good feeling to know that I've left my mark behind and know they appreciate my help and kindness to them while working as a deputy circuit clerk. My name is Diana Guile, and I have had 15 years experience working as a county and state level position, and I am ready to work for the Perry County again. And with your help and support, I will do just that. I humbly ask for support and your vote on Tuesday, August 5th to be your next county treasurer. Thank you for your time this evening.
Before we go any further, I did notice that Representative Shelley Keeley is joining us this evening, so thank you very much for coming in and taking the time. Also, Commissioner Suter, please. Thank you. My first question is, do any of you have any ideas currently where county surplus dollars could be better invested for larger returns?
I'm thinking on that.
Offhand, I'm not sure. Other than getting into the job and really looking into how Ronnie had effectively worked in the past, once I get in there and kind of get a look at what's going on, that would probably help me out a lot more to answering this question.
Without actually being there and reviewing all the books, it would be a little difficult. I would hope that we would be staying within the county and not outsourcing that type of thing. I'm a firm believer in staying within your county, supporting your county, so that without actually looking at the books and seeing it, that would be my answer.
I'm the same way. We would have to do some research once we get into the office, and I'd have to see what the books actually are showing, and then after some research, we'd be able to have an answer for you.
My understanding is that the funds have to be put in a CD or with the local bank. They can't be be sent somewhere else to make more money. They have to be stayed with the bank. It's a state statute, I believe.
Okay. Do you know of any technological upgrade that you think that the treasurer's office, without being in there, that you can see would be needed that could save the county dollars at this point in time?
Well, I think anything with computer technology, just keeping up with that and, getting the most current system to work with would be helpful. And, maybe save time if some of it's being done by hand.
I agree. I would say the technology is most important, and keep upgrading the computers and getting new equipment if necessary.
With my past experience with the chamber, whenever anything with technology came up, we did major research with other Chamber of Commerce offices because they did the same type of work we did. If needed, that would probably be the first thing I would do, was contact other county offices and see if they are doing anything that is better than what we have.
Well, as I've worked in the past with the courthouse, I know the state is always upgrading. I feel if there's funds there and there is a chance to upgrade, I do indeed think it's a good thing to do.
Thank you.
Our next group of candidates are running for the 32nd or circuit judge in the 32nd Division 1. And I'm going to have to rely on them to give us some information about their salaries, what the salary is for that, how they relate to Perry County. In other words, do they cover all of Perry County or just a portion, and what other counties do they cover? It is, I believe, a 6-year term. Okay. Our first candidate for them would be Alan Moss.
I want to thank the Republican Monitor for sponsoring this forum and all of you for attending. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to run for office and appear in front of you here tonight. The question, I've been married for 21 years to Catherine Moss. We have 3 children, 15, 19, and 24. She's not able to be here today because she's at a soccer tournament in St. Louis with my youngest one. The question I get most often when I go door to door or talk to people about circuit judge is, what does the job entail? And over half of the caseload in the 3 counties, which is Bolivar, Perry, and Cape Girardeau counties, encompasses felony criminal cases. You deal with some of the most dangerous, some of the most persistent felony offenders in our community. The decisions that the circuit judge makes has a direct impact on the safety of you and your family. The other half of the job typically is civil cases, and 25% is custody cases. That may be a little bit less in Perry County than Cave and Bowling County. At least half of what's left are custody cases to be heard and decided. The remainder of the cases are lawsuits in excess of $25,000, including personal injury and things of that nature. I grew up in a small town. That's where I got my conservative Christian values. My mom and dad had to work every Sunday. They had a small business, a grocery store, but they always made sure that I was transported to and from church every Sunday, even though they couldn't attend. And that was usually the exception, as to most instances. Children normally go with parents, but my mom and dad weren't able to do that. I came up from pretty modest means. We lived in a small apartment over my folks' grocery store, and I'm the only one in my family that ever attended college. I'm an only child, and the apartment was so small that I had to go through my mom and dad's bedroom to get to my bedroom, and the joke is that if mom and dad had had more privacy, I might have had a little brother or little sister. If I had to describe this job, I would say it can be described in 3 words: experience, experience, and experience. First would be the quantity of experience. I've been practicing for 27 years, and I have 27 years of civil and criminal trial experience. Much of that in front of Judge Seiler in the court that I hope to take the seat of. The quality of experience, the type of experience. I've been a prosecutor. I've worked with crime victims. I've seen the impact that it has had on their lives. I've made recommendations and decisions about what sentences defendants should get, what their conditions of parole or probation should be. I've been making those decisions throughout a large part of my career. As an assistant attorney general, I defended the state from civil suits, and I also handled cases where sex offenders were trying to get early parole, but they had not completed the Missouri Sex Offenders Program. And I represented the state to keep those type of offenders behind bars. In private practice, I've handled a lot of family law. I've also handled a lot of personal injury cases, and I've been a defense attorney. I've served 16 years as a municipal judge, making decisions that affect your safety. I would ask for your vote. I would ask for your prayers. But most of all, my life experience has led me to this position. Raising children is the most important responsibility we have. It also changes us. And my decision process is different now than it was 20 years ago. There's a human element to this job. And that extra 20 years of life that I've had qualifies me to look at that human element. You can go to a book and look up the law. There is no book to go and look up people. Thank you.
Candidate is Michael Gardner, and perhaps you'll tell us what salary
Way to start off.
I'm Michael Gardner, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the salary for a circuit judge is $125,000. What is 120? Is it going up? News to me. Shows you I'm running for the right reasons, I guess. But I'm Mike Gardner, and appreciate the Republic Monitor putting this together. I'm honored to be here. First, I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Christy, for those who haven't met her yet. Christy and I have spent a lot of time here in Perry County, and we've remarked at how nice the folks are here. They're just wonderful people here. I grew up in a small town called Kelso that many of you have probably heard of. It's about 500 people, and it's known for its conservative values and its chicken and dumplings. So many of the communities in this circuit as we've been traveling around remind me a lot of my hometown of Kelso. I went to high school at Notre Dame where I met Christy, and we've been together ever since. We have 3 wonderful children, Jack, Addie, and Paige, and probably some of you have met them too along the way. I went to college and law school up at Mizzou, and I worked really hard in law school. There were 180 students in my class, and I graduated number 2 in my class, and I hope that tells you a little bit about my work ethic. After law school, I had the great privilege of clerking for Judge Stephen Limbaugh Jr. 10 years ago up at the Missouri Supreme Court. He's a federal judge now, of course, but back then I worked with Judge Limbaugh on the biggest cases in the state of Missouri. $1 million disputes, death penalty cases, cases in which the state of Missouri was seeking to terminate parental rights due to abuse or neglect. The stakes aren't any higher than working on a death penalty case, and I can tell you it's certainly burned in my memory when I saw the families of those victims there in the courtroom in Jefferson City, often, as you know, decades after the crime occurred, unfortunately. Since clerking for Judge Limbaugh, I've been practicing law in Cape Girardeau, and what we do at my firm is handle circuit court level cases just like Judge Seiler handles. During my time in private practice, I played a key role in some of the biggest cases in southeast Missouri. I've had jury trials in state and federal courts. I've argued before the Missouri Court of Appeals, and when I was 28, I argued my first case in front of the Missouri Supreme Court. So if you think I look young now, just imagine what those judges were thinking. I'm 35 now, by the way. So we went through the church dinner phase in the campaign where you sort of put weight on, and your door-to-door phase where the weight comes off. So I find I'm looking younger as this thing goes on. So last year, the Missouri Supreme Court appointed me to be one of the 6 lawyers in Missouri who are in charge of the bar exam. And we're also responsible for approving the character and fitness of people seeking law licenses. A big part of that is we're responsible for keeping bad lawyers out of Missouri. Just like anything else with doctors and other professions, there are some bad apples in every bunch, and bad lawyers tend to bounce around the country. And our job is to keep them out of Missouri to protect our citizens. I hope you'll consider the fact that the Missouri Supreme Court has entrusted me with that important responsibility. Maybe I hope it tells you something. Christy and I are very involved in our church and community. We're members of St. Vincent de Paul Parish in Cape Girardeau. I'm a lector, and I'm also the president of the school board there at St. Vincent's. I'm also the president of the Cape West Rotary Club. I'm a 4th degree member of the Knights of Columbus and serve in the Honor Guard. And I'm very active with the Boy Scouts. I'm an NRA member. I'm a Farm Bureau member. People ask me why I'm running for circuit judge. The answer is simple. It's just simply because I think I'd be good at it. I want to communicate to folks my background, but just how important this job is and the impact it has on people's lives. Here in Perry County, unfortunately, but inevitably, there are going to be families that are affected by tragedy in the years to come. Those families are going to end up in circuit court, and it's really important that there's a circuit judge there who's going to understand the law and who's going to get it right. So I'd appreciate very much your vote on August the 5th. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Trey Bertram.
That's right. Hi, I'm Trey Bertrand, and I'm running for circuit judge. This campaign has taken me across 3 counties pretty regularly: Perry County, Boulder County, and Cape County. I can tell you guys for absolute certainty that you guys are winning the sign war of 2014. And believe it or not, it's not even close. And that's obviously attributable to the many friends and family that you guys have up here on the stage. And I realize that my circuit judge race may not be the top priority to many of you when you go to vote on August 5th. But I do want you to know that your vote is going to be a major factor in the outcome of the circuit judge race, and I would appreciate if you would
keep me in mind when you do go to the polls. Now, I want to reiterate a couple things about the position of circuit judge. This is a 32nd judicial circuit, and this circuit covers Perry County, Cape County, and Bollinger County. And as it was said earlier, the circuit judge handles the large civil matters, anything over $25,000 in controversy typically, and the large criminal matters, the felonies, which as opposed to the misdemeanors, which are typically handled at the associate judge level. Now let me tell you a few things about me that I hope you'll remember. I've been practicing law for 9 years at the law firm of Bradshaw, Steele, Cochran & Barron's. I'm a partner with them. We have an office in Perryville and we have an office in Cape. I'm up here fairly often. In fact, tonight we hosted the Perryville Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours at my office over on Brenda Drive. Some of you, I believe, were there. My law practice is somewhat diverse, and I think that's what qualifies me in part to be a good circuit judge. I handle criminal law and civil law. In criminal law, I handle both misdemeanors and felonies. In civil law, I handle a variety of types of cases such as divorces, adoptions, business law, or general civil litigation, mainly on the defense side. So I believe that my unique law practice, the variety of my law practice will help me on day one to make a smooth transition between Judge Seiler and hopefully myself. I've also tried many jury trials throughout southeast Missouri. I've argued cases in front of the Missouri Court of Appeals. I've tried cases in both state court and federal court. On a personal note, I'm married to Rachel Bertrand, formerly Rachel Hessen-Kemper. We have 3 daughters, Laura, Camille, and Stella, and we have a son on the way. He'll be here in November. People often ask me, what qualities make me the best candidate for this circuit judge race? And I tell them, my integrity, my honesty, common sense, my conservative values, and my hard work ethic. I started work when I was 16 years old. I worked my way through high school. I worked my way through college. I worked my way through law school. Like many of you, I've worked hard my whole life, and if I'm elected circuit judge, I'll carry that hard work ethic over to the bench. You can talk to any attorney, and they'll tell you that a good quality for a circuit judge to have is a hard work ethic. One last thing about me, if the only thing you remember about me is this, is I have a sincere appreciation for people and for property and for families, and that's a vital aspect for a good circuit judge. So, in closing, I want to ask everybody in here personally for your vote, and everybody who may be watching this on TV, I'd like to ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
I don't have any questions for you guys, but I just really wanted to thank you for coming and shedding some light on the race. It was really informative. Thank you.
Okay. We have one more group of people running for office, and then we will open it up to questions. And that office is Associate Circuit Judge. Now, we only have one person running on the Republican ticket. We have no one on the Democratic ticket, but we do have somebody running on the independent, as an independent. So we have asked, the newspapers asked both of them to come tonight, or invited them to come and speak. So the first candidate is Jason Tilley. And I do not have the salary. It's a 4-year term, but I do not have a salary, and one of these gentlemen will tell us what it is.
Thank you, Mary. I know that the salary is a percentage of the circuit judges, but quite frankly, I don't know what that percentage is. And as Mr. Gardner indicated, that's probably a good indication that a person is running for this position for the right reasons. My name is Jason Tilley. I am a 1985 graduate of Perryville High School, 1991 graduate of Central Missouri State University, and a 2001 graduate of Southern Illinois University School of Law. Now, you might notice that there's a 10-year gap between my graduating from undergrad at Central Missouri State and graduating from law school. And ladies and gentlemen, it's those 10 years, I think, that begins to explain why I'm the most qualified person to serve as Associate Circuit Judge. For 7 of those years, I spent working with one of the most vulnerable groups and populations in our society. I worked directly with the developmentally disabled population. I worked in management, but more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I worked directly, day by day, hour by hour. As a matter of fact, from February of 1993 until August of 1994, I lived in a home with 7 men who suffered from Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and other developmental disabilities. And as much as my time in law school or as an attorney, that experience has shaped who I am. It taught me patience and compassion. After graduating from law school, I went to work for the Missouri State Public Defender's Office. And I understand that sometimes people think that all public defenders, that they have a bad reputation. I worked for one of the most dedicated, amazing groups of lawyers that you will ever find at the Jackson office of the Public Defender's System, and I am very proud of the time I spent there. During my time there, I learned to be a trial attorney, and since I started at the Public Defender's Office in September of 2001, I've tried dozens, almost 3 dozen, serious felony cases before juries throughout Southeast Missouri. I have tried murder cases to juries. That type of experience is vital for any judge. I have also handled family law, juvenile matters, and every other type of case that is handled through the Associate Circuit Judge position in Perry County. Why do I think that my experience before I became a lawyer is most important? This is why. The most difficult part of that job is this. Let's say you have a divorce. You have 2 parents who've been amazing. They've put their own personal animosity aside for the benefit of their children. But one day, the parent who has custody of those children gets moved to Cleveland for their job. You have to make a decision at that point whether you're going to allow that. And it's the patience and compassion that I learned during my time, not as an attorney, but working with the most vulnerable population we have, that will put me in the best position to make those decisions. And while I am very proud of what I've accomplished as an attorney, nothing compares to how proud I am, and those of you who know me will know this is true. I am Caroline Rose and Colin Andrews' mom, and that is the thing I'm most proud of. And before Mary yanks me off the stage, I would like to say thank you to the one person in the world whose love and support can leave me speechless, and that's an accomplishment for a lawyer, my wife Maureen. Thank you, sweetheart.
Our next candidate is Craig Brewer, and his name will not be on the August ballot, but will be on the November ballot.
Honestly, I don't know what the salary is. That seems to be the thing to say. I know it's north of $100,000, somewhere in $150,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. My name is Craig Brewer. I am an independent candidate for Perry County Associate Circuit Judge. I'm running for the seat that is being vacated by Judge Bullerdick after his 28 years of good service to our community. He's retiring, and I hope to have his job. I'm asking for your vote because I believe my experience is superior. My background and my temperament make me the best candidate to fill the shoes of Judge Bullerdick. Proud to say that I was born and raised in Perry County. In fact, I'm a 6th generation on both sides of my family Perry County person. My roots are strong here, and I think I understand what the morals and the mindset of our community is. I think I could be an asset to Perry County on the bench. I graduated from St. Vincent High School in 1990. Try to stay active for both the school and St. Vincent Parish. My kids go to St. Vincent's, and I'm proud to be serving in my 4th year as president of the St. Vincent Alumni Association. It's fair to say that my faith and my affiliation with St. Vincent Parish is very important to me. Also important to me is the condition and progress of our community. I've served on more boards than I care to recount to you all. I've given a lot of free legal time, a lot of free hours, and it drives my wife crazy sometimes. But I do it because I love it, and I love this community. And I think I hopefully can make a difference from time to time. And now I want to try to make a difference in a different way. I want to try to be the judge. Now, I went to law school at the University of Missouri in I graduated from law school in 1998. Spent 1 year practicing law in Columbia, Missouri, and then I moved back with my wife, and in 1999 I practiced with my father, Dennis Brewer, until his retirement in 2012 after 45 years of legal work. I'm in a partnership with Ron Arbeiter, and I maintain now, as I have throughout my entire career, a general practice. I've represented hundreds of people in criminal cases, both felony and misdemeanor cases, family law matters that includes divorce, paternity, custody, visitation, and child support, juvenile matters, probate matters, real estate matters, wills, estates, and trusts, small claims. The beauty of this is that this is exactly what the Associate Circuit Judge does. These are the things that I know. I've done it for 16 years now, and I feel like I'm well qualified to have this job. I've seen a variety of judges. I practice not only in Perry County, but also Cape, Perry, Bollinger, St. John, and some other counties in the surrounding area. I've seen what judges do. I've seen what I like, and I see what I don't like. And I think I'm well experienced and ready to be a judge and an asset to our community. Before I go, I want to take a second to address the fact that I am running as an independent candidate. I am not running as a Republican. I'm not running as a Democrat, which is why my election is not until November. I will be on the November ballot. Look, I know where I live. I know all 16 of these people behind me are Republicans. I didn't want to be a Republican, and I don't want to be a Democrat. And there are a couple of reasons for that. First, it has never made sense to me for a judge to have political affiliation. When I go up here before a judge, I don't want to wonder whether they're a Democrat, and I don't want to wonder if they're a Republican. I want a fair-minded individual who's going to be impartial and, dare I say, independent. And I think I fill that category. Secondly, I see a lot of partisan rants are on TV. The Republicans are all against the Democrats, and the Democrats are all against the Republicans. And I wonder sometimes if our politicians are working for the public good. Frankly, I don't want any part of that. I want to be an independent candidate so that maybe you all will look at me as an individual and look at my experience, look at my qualifications, and hopefully vote for me. That's what I'm asking you to do on November 4th. We'll probably have another one of these, I suppose, before this is all over, but I sure do appreciate the Republic Monitor for having me here, Park Center, Mary, everybody. I'm last.
Okay. The newspaper has no questions for the judges, but now we're going to open it up to y'all. And y'all know you're going to be polite, and you're going to be under the 4-minute rule too. So we'll cut your microphone off if you go too long. There are microphones in either aisle, so please use them if you have questions of any of our candidates. Or our candidates can ask questions of each other, I guess, if you have some. But please come down to the mic so I can see you. Now you know when you go home you have questions, so come on down. Mr. Carr, County Clerk.
Each of you seem to be very familiar with you to do 2 or 3 jobs? You're elected, is this going to be your job? Or is this going to be just one of your jobs?
Is that for all of the county?
Yes.
If elected, this being Perry County's clerk is going to be my only job. I have a job. I work with healthcare equipment supply here in town, and I have a wonderful hobby where I write for Perryville Development Monitor. It's one of the most awesome hobbies anybody could ever have because I get to cover sports and I get in all the games free. But it does unfortunately kind of breaks my heart that I won't be able to do that job if I am elected county clerk. But it also raises my heart up that public service and serving in the capacity of Perry County clerk is kind of a lifelong dream, and so that's what I think will be my only job aside from this.
I do manage to do 3 jobs every day, almost 12 months out of the year. I'm a very good multitasker, people say. As far as running the county office, yes, I will give it, like I said, 110%. I will continue to do real estate because real estate is an evening and a weekend job. I'm already dedicated to that, and it's...
Well, don't you feel that you're being spread thin to give 110%?
I give 110% to all my jobs, I really do. And with this job, with this seat, you're in 4 years, and you're hoping that nobody will run against you again in another 4 years. You just don't know. I mean, that somebody else may come in and run against you and knock you out of a job. I'm a future kind of projector kind of person. I want to know that I have something in the future just in case something doesn't work. Like I said, real estate is an evening and a weekend job. Everybody works that's going to buy a home.
If elected for the county clerk job, that will be my only job. Right now I do drive a bus and I work at MFA Oil, but I will be quitting those and being full-time clerk.
Well, since I've retired from education after 30 years and I'm only 53, I'm actually looking for another career and hoping to be able to serve the community as county clerk as my second career.
I have a question for the judges. Which one of you always runs late?
Which judges? All of them?
All of them.
All of them.
Which one has a habit of running late? Which one of you has the habit of always running late? I have been where I've had to wait on the judge. I'm just saying, which one of you has that habit? It's not bad, I'm just asking.
Well, it's not me. I got here at 5 o'clock and we debated whether I could get pie in the Marquette before the thing started. That is a serious question because for a lot of these dockets, you go down and you show up and the judge isn't there, but you've got 25 or 30 attorneys waiting around for the judge to get there at $150 or $200 an hour, and that costs you money and the client's money. So it's real important to get those courts started on time and try to be efficient in getting those courts managed so that the clients aren't paying so much.
Well, I don't believe I have a reputation for running late, so I think I'm very punctual in my law practice. And if elected as your circuit judge, I will commit to you that my court will start on time, to, as Alan said, be fair to everyone else, and that I will expect the attorneys who practice before me to be punctual as well.
I got here before Alan. I got here at 4:30. And I am very punctual, and it is a pet peeve of mine when court starts late. So it is not me, ma'am.
Well, I didn't beat either Alan or Trey here, but you know the story of the guy running from the dog and he passes a guy up and the guy says, well, what are you trying to outrun that dog? And the guy says, no, I'm just trying to outrun you. I did get here before Craig.
cases before the court. That's why I'm very dedicated. It's always been everything judge to be respectful. We've got a good mentor. Honestly, Judge Bullerdick has been always very punctual. There are other judges that haven't, but we seem to get by. But no, I fully expect, as I get older, I get up earlier. And I don't think it's going to be a problem getting to court on time.
I have a question or two for the Recorder of Deeds candidates. You talked a little bit about the debit card system, and I was wondering what would be more important to you, because finances could be so limited. Is it the debit card system that you want is more important to you, or would it be something that keeps records more secured and safe and easier to keep track of? Yeah, recorders.
Currently, the Recorder of Deeds office does not really have the control to get the debit credit card system. We are subject to, again, finances and approval by the county clerk. But there are a lot of more technological ways that we can preserve our records that you do need to be done. The index books, the current records that are in the books themselves or the individual pages can be scanned and imaged into the computer system. And as that becomes available then to the public, then they are able to actually review them off-site, away from, in a more secure manner also.
I definitely think that preserving the documents would be more important than the debit card, but with technology, I mean, I guess everybody takes any debit or credit card really to do any kind of business anymore, so hopefully it would be in the budget to do both and advance the office.
I definitely believe that preserving documents is more important than a debit card. But with, budgeting, if you can provide the machines to do that, that would be awesome. But definitely preserving documents is a high priority.
I agree with that also. Preserving the documents is the most important. It is probably also more costly than the debit card issue. But hopefully, I'm affiliated with the city right now, and we're very fortunate that we have a good surplus of money, which the county does not. And I would just hope that we would be able to preserve the documents and to implement the debit card system.
And also one more question, mainly for Kim Weiner, is specifically what changes do need to be made. It's going to obviously start in your own office if you were to be elected Recorder of Deeds. But what changes would be most important, and why do they need to be changed? Why do they need to be changed, and what needs to be changed?
I probably wouldn't know all of them until I get in there. I just noticed, I don't know if we have the e-file or the e-scan. I don't know. I mean, I guess they could answer better than me. But that's things like that is what I would want to implement more.
Thank you.
I have a question for all the judges. Would you be willing to bring drug court to Perry County?
I had about a 1-hour conversation with the county commission last week or the week before last. I do support drug court under some circumstances, but number one, we got to figure out a way to pay the bar, and number two, everybody doesn't belong in drug court. If you plead guilty or you're found guilty of distributing or selling drugs, you shouldn't be in drug court. I would be committed to trying to bring drug court here and find the money for that. Several people throughout the community have asked for this, and it does work in some circumstances, but again, everybody doesn't belong in drug court.
I strongly support the expansion of drug court throughout the entire circuit. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what drug court is, it's an instance in which the circuit judge determines that a particular individual who has an addiction problem, not a seller of drugs, but a person with an addiction problem, and there is the potential for rehabilitation, can refer that person to Associate Circuit Court for drug court, and they can be put into a rehabilitation program, inpatient or outpatient, depending on their situation. And if they're successful, if they graduate from that program, it can have a positive impact on their sentence. It is a question of money, but what we really need to think about, though, is the long-term benefit of particular individuals who would qualify for drug court to try to rehabilitate them, to get them out of addiction and back to productive, tax-paying, working citizens. But again, that is one of the things that tells you about how important it is who you choose as your next circuit judge, because think of the discretion that the circuit judge has in determining who ought to be going to drug court and who shouldn't. So I do strongly support it, and we would work hard to try to find a way to be fiscally conservative in getting it paid for. But we have to think about the long-term savings that we would have in our community of getting people back as working and taxpaying. Thank you.
I too support drug court. They've kind of outlined what it is, so I won't reiterate it all. It is for non-violent drug crimes. The distribution is not a non-violent drug crime, so it definitely would not fall in that category. But in certain instances, I am a supporter of it. It has a proven track record for rehabilitation. You're less likely to reoffend if you go through drug court as if you're just thrown in the prisons. As you guys know, our prison systems are overcrowded anyways. So any chance that I would have to keep a non-violent offender being a productive member of society while being rehabilitated, I would definitely support that and be for it.
During my time as a public defender, I actually served as a member of the drug court team in Cape Girardeau in the 32nd Judicial Circuit. I particularly support the way it's handled both in Cape Girardeau County and up in the Judicial Circuit to the north of us, the 24th, which is St. Genevieve, St. Francis, Washington, and Madison counties. And in those counties, as well as Cape, the referral is made by the prosecuting attorney, and the prosecuting attorney has veto power over anyone that would go into drug court. So with all due respect to the ones that have spoken before me, the prosecutor knows the facts of a case, and we do know that there are a lot of serious addicts that will resort to selling small amounts of drugs to support a habit. So I don't believe in a blanket prohibition against someone in a distribution case. I think that the local prosecuting attorneys who have had an opportunity to review the case with the police officers that made the arrest and did the investigation are in the best position to make that decision whether a person is appropriate for drug court. But in my experience, it is a wonderful program. About 2 months ago in the mall down in Cape, I ran into a man named Ivory Robinson. I represented Ivory in 2003 and got him into the Cape Girardeau County Drug Court. Ivory had been in a lot of trouble, and I hadn't seen him for about 5 years. And he walked up to me in Barnes & Noble and gave me a hug and said, "Jason, thank you so much for getting me into that. I didn't like the idea, I didn't like the structure, but it changed my life." And that's why I support drug courts.
Yes, I am a supporter of drug court, and by extension, I think DWI courts are something that, in a perfect world, would be something that we could explore. Money is an issue, but we are spending a heck of a lot of money in this state housing prisoners. And I really think rehabilitation, to some degree, now of course these folks have to want to be rehabilitated, and sometimes that can be a problem. But I represent a lot of people who are younger in nature, and it seems like prescription pills are becoming a heavy-duty problem, more so than the street drugs. And that being the case, some of these folks are fairly young. And I think drug court gives an opportunity for these young people to be able to rehabilitate their lives. They got to want to do it, but if it's out there, and I think there's been some resistance in our circuit to drug court up to this point, whether it's a money thing or who actually handles the drug court, you know, obviously that'd be something that I'd be very interested in doing. So I hope that answers your question.
We
way, but Mary actually asked my question. I was concerned about the overcrowding in prisons and rehab facilities, and with Cottonwood Treatment Center having the possibility of closing, I was interested in your remarks, so I just wanted to say thank you.
The challenge is trying to find facilities to take people. We have down in Cave, we've got Gibson Center and we've got Family Counseling Center. As a municipal judge, I routinely order that people go to inpatient treatment. When I started prosecuting 20 some odd years ago, it used to be 30 days, then it was 20 days, and now it's 10 or 14 days. There are intensive outpatient programs available that last longer than that and enables the person to continue to work. And that's what we're going to have to do. For females, we've got the Family Counseling Center down there. That's a very good residential treatment program. It can be longer than 30 days, and after a certain period of time, they're allowed to have their children there with them.
I agree with what Alan said. I don't have anything else to add.
I don't have anything else to add to that either.
I think the issue of rehab facilities closing, like Cottonwood potentially, I think it's an evidence of misplaced. It's evidence of some real misplaced priorities. We spend a lot more housing nonviolent drug offenders in prison than we would to try and help them get better, and that's why I've been such a supporter of those types of programs.
I agree.
Just because I'm curious. I've heard some rumors, and I know through campaigning you hear lots of rumors. These questions are for the county clerk and the recorders. Do any of you have any plans to make changes in the staff if you're elected?
Well, first of all, I have to get elected. There would be no changes on my part. I realize if I were to win, Mrs. Pritchard would be the deputy, and she would be able to keep that job as long as she would want that job, in my opinion. I have no plans of changing the staff. If that were to happen, it would strictly be her decision and not mine.
Quite honestly, I haven't given that much thought. I've been so busy campaigning. And like Doug said, we have to get elected first. But it would be common sense to keep somebody in there that would already know what's going on in the office. So.
Actually, she would be a tremendous asset for any of us if we were to win. I think there's 149 days, before you would actually take over after the actual primary. So that would be a great learning period, and her help would be very important.
Actually, no, I have no plans. I mean, as long as everything runs smoothly, but like they said, it would be a great asset.
As currently working in the office, it is my understanding that if I am elected, plans will be made to hire an additional deputy sometime September, October time, so that we will have the benefit of the current recorder Sue to help train a new deputy before I would actually take office.
The staff at the county clerk's office has done an excellent job so far. There's no reason to look elsewhere. Those are the people that will give you guidance and strength.
I agree with Steve. We would have to get in there, but I think the county clerk's office is doing a tremendous job right now, and we would just keep it that way.
I stated that in my speech, that there's no way. I mean, them girls are like the backbone of the office. Got to keep them.
I believe that often an elected official is only as strong as their staff, and the staff at Randy Taylor's office right now is just awesome. Trish and Tammy have been a resource for me. I've sat down with them and asked them about their day-to-day activities, just as I have with Randy. And yeah, there's no way that as long as they wanted to stay, they would absolutely be staying. There's no changes needed.
Thank you.
Yes or no question for all the candidates. Would you be willing to submit to a random drug test?
Yes.
I'm usually tested, it seems like my name's in a hat for the bus about every couple of years. So I've been driving for 23 years, so I think I'm probably one of the cleanest members here anyway. Yes, I would.
No problem, bring it on.
Yes.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
I'm prepared right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and it should be.
Yes, and it should be.
Yes.
Yes. I've been asked a lot of questions, but never that point. The answer is yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
Go back to the drug court idea. Any one of you can answer this. In the referencing to rehabilitation facilities, could a faith-based operation of rehabilitation be recommended? Would the court use faith-based rehabilitation?
Are you thinking of a specific one in the county?
No, just any faith-based. If there's a faith-based organization that works with drugs, would the court only be able to recommend state or whatever, or would they be able to offer someone faith-based?
I think as long as they're accredited, it doesn't matter. Faith-based. I mean, the bigger problem, as I see it, is there's no way to compel people to stay in rehab if they don't want to stay in rehab. That's part of the problem, that they get there for a few days and then they leave and there's nothing you can do about it. That's really the way the state of the law. So, yeah.
Actually, if you're in a position to order someone into any type of rehabilitation as a judge, there is something you can do about it. You can revoke their probation and execute a sentence. I personally have had a number of clients in felony cases required to complete the Teen Challenge program as a condition of their probation, and that is as intense a faith-based program as you're going to find anywhere. So absolutely.
I'm an advocate of rehabilitation in the right instances, and a faith-based program sometimes can be a fantastic option. So, like Craig said, if it's accredited and worthwhile, then I'm all ears.
I agree, and I would add that I think probably all of us know someone who has overcome addiction. And during this campaign, as I've traveled around, I've met with some folks who have told me their stories about how they had overcome addiction. And some of them, it was amazing to me to think that they ever had been in that condition before. Alcohol addiction, drug addiction, but they were able to get through it. And they all had one thing in common when they told me about it, and that was their faith is what got them through it. So I certainly think that programs like Teen Challenge, which is a wonderful program, ought to be utilized as much as we can.
I agree with everybody else about faith-based programs. Teen Challenge has been very successful. At one point in time, they were having a 80% success ratio. That's a long-term program. It goes between 12 and 14 months. But the reason that program and other programs are successful, as a judge,
You have to look at the whole person. You have to address not only the drug addiction, but the reason why they have a drug addiction. Get them working, get them in school, so they have a reason to stay clean after they complete treatment.
This is just a question for the county candidates, not necessarily the judges. I know a lot of you referenced whose job you're taking by either calling them by their first name or another reference. I just need a show of hands, or I'd like to have a show of hands for everybody here. Have you actually contacted whose job you are seeking and actually visited that office to see what it entails? Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Do the candidates have questions? Okay. Well, I thank you all for coming. And one of my favorite expressions from the 1960s is if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Now, obviously, all of us are part of the solution because we're here and we're trying to learn about these candidates so we can make informed decisions. But you really have to teach your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids to vote. And then not just to vote, but to learn about what the office is and what it does. And because so much of politics controls so much of our lives. So thank you all for coming.